All right, welcome in. We got plenty to get to here today and no time to do it. So we're going to dive in and talk a whole lot of props today with Andy Lang. He's got a whole bunch going on with the NBA championship, or NBA Cup rather. That game is tonight. Andy's got you locked and loaded with a couple of props as well as the same game parlay. He's also going to take a look on the ice tonight with a couple of props you're going to want to hear since, I don't know, he just keeps cashing those damn tickets. Teddy Covers will be in the seat ready to roll here today. A lot of football to talk with Teddy, a couple of NFL games as well as this upcoming bowl game in Frisco, Texas there between Memphis and West Virginia. You're not going to want to miss what he has to say. Of course, our good friend VR, Gianni the Greek, will close us out here today with the latest steam and gold moves that you guys need to know about it. But when it comes to cashing tickets, man, there has nobody been better than our man, Skee Profit, continuing to cash them damn tickets. Skee, rolling here, my man, not just in the NBA, college hoops. You're all over it, crushing it, and we've got a pretty damn good deal that's closing out for you guys to be able to hop on board with Skee. We're going to tell you about in just a minute, but Skee, here we are, Bucks, oldest team in the NBA for the most part, taking on, one of the youngest teams in OKC for the NBA Cup championship. My goodness. Let's see, the old guys won last year. Did the old guys win again this year here, Skee?
I didn't know that, I guess, or maybe I just didn't think about it. The Bucks are the oldest, if not one of the oldest teams. But I want to start this by talking about props first. First off, I went to the last game between the Thunder and the Rockets, and somebody who's made me a lot of money is Isaiah Hartenstein. Been betting his rebounds and assists, betting him a lot of different ways. But in that last game, it was a lot different than what we've seen. Like when he first got into the lineup, everybody was trying to, help him or let him get the rebound so he can keep his streak alive. Now it's like almost the opposite. And today we have his rebound prop at 11.5. So just want to make everybody aware of how he's been playing. I would probably be more towards the under today than the over. And next up, I want to talk about three more players and how I see this game going. For one, the Thunder in that Rockets game, they put Dort on Van Fleet to shut him down, and Isaiah Hartenstein plays solid defense versus Şengün. They made the Rockets shoot a lot of threes to try to beat them that way. I can see a similar game plan in this one today. I think that you'll get Dort on Dame, and I've seen Dame plenty of times versus bigger defenders. He doesn't have a whole lot of success, especially a great defender like Dort. So I'm thinking Dame under his point prop tonight. And on the flip side, Giannis, he's the one person who OKC can't really match up with. I think this is a game where Giannis gets his. They try to shut everybody else down, and I would look towards Giannis point prop over if I'm looking at anything for the Bucks. And last but not least, SGA. This is probably the biggest lean of them all, or not my most confident one out of the three, but he's gonna shoot 20 plus shots. He's gonna get to the free throw line like 10 times, and the Bucks do not have good perimeter defense. So I think he's worth the look towards his point prop over. When I look at the game outside of props, I'll look at the total first. And like I mentioned, I don't think they have anybody who's going to stop Giannis. So I think he'll be able to score pretty much at will. And if the Thunder, if they're going against Milwaukee's soft perimeter defense, I think they'll be able to score at will too. So far, we've seen 3 tournament games at neutral sites. The favorite covered all of them and went under. But none of those games, the teams played in the same environment twice. This will be both of these teams' second time playing in the Las Vegas arena. So I think they'll shoot it better tonight. I think 215.5 might be a little bit too low. I also think it's interesting that the first half is shaded towards the over at 110. So maybe it starts off faster pace, maybe tightens up towards the end when they, play a little bit of more defense at the end, trying to get that money. But I'm leaning towards over if I'm betting the total in this game. And from a side perspective, it's very hard for me to trust the Bucks just because I don't have a whole lot of trust in their defense. OKC is the more complete team, You can make an argument who you think has the best player in this game, but OKC will be the better defense, and they're just as good on offense. So I'll lean with OKC for the side as well.
So you like it because we know the history, Skee, at the NBA Cup. It's been all unders, I believe, right? 5-0 to the under, which makes sense. But to your point, we got a couple of teams here that are having a second go at the sight lines and everything else along those lines. OKC, are they going to want to speed the tempo up here? Because I'm pretty sure Milwaukee doesn't want to start running with OKC, right?
I think that OKC will pick up the tempo. The Bucks they're not a good, not a good fast break defense. So I think every chance that OKC gets, they'll get out and run, even off the misses, etc. So I think it should be an up tempo game. Do the Bucks want to play up tempo? I think the Bucks are. Honestly, I think they could prefer up tempo rather than playing in a half court. So game where both teams will run.
And so we're looking at Giannis for the points for Milwaukee. SGA, he's going to be the guy getting there. Who's the X factor in this game? Is it Williams? Is it Lillard? Like, who is the other guy that's got to show up here tonight, skiing this one?
X factor. I'll say for Milwaukee, I think it has to be a collective of the other guys. I don't think it's one guy. I think it'll be guys like Prez on the 3-point line. He'll have to hit his shots. Taurean Prince, when he gets his looks, if the paint collapses, these guys have to hit their threes. So it's all of the other guys for Milwaukee. For OKC, maybe Jalen Williams. I mean, I feel like SG able to get hit. I think Williams will have a tough defensive assignment, and we'll see if he can contribute on the offensive end as well. I really just looking at those four guys: iHeart, SGA, Dame, Giannis. Those are the only guys I would really play on.
Let me ask you, Skee, moving forward. I mean, I'm trying to watch OKC and go, wow. So they still don't have Chet Holmgren. So I mean, what's the ceiling for this team? They're clearly the favorite, the odds favorite to come out of the West. Dallas is right behind them. But is this the year this team can really take that next step?
They absolutely can. I mean, last year the knock on OKC was they're young, they don't have the experience. I mean, they finished number one in the West for the regular season, but that was the knock. They have that experience now. Yes, they're still young, but they know what they're striving for, what they have. They know they have the experience. That's what I'm gonna say. So I think they got better than last year. Adding Caruso, adding guys like Hardenstein, and if they already made it to the semifinals, they absolutely go even further. Dallas is tough. Dallas is very tough. It'll be another challenge, but the way that OKC looked in that last game versus Dallas, they might be up for it. So I think OKC can absolutely make it to the NBA Finals.
I would not shock me at all. Skee, we had mentioned, my man, you are absolutely crushing it, and the ability for folks to hop on board with you right now and hop on board with your NBA and, of course, get the opportunity to hop on board with the college basketball as well. Today is the last day to take advantage of that promotion with you, man. Just tell the folks. I mean, it's been a hell of a run for you, man. You've been crushing it.
Yeah, things have been going well. I'll just kind of go down the list a little bit here. If you want to look at all sports in general, I've won 21 of my last 28. College basketball specifically, I've won 9 of my last 11. You can look at NFL and college combined. I've won 11 of my last 13. And in the NBA, hitting about a little bit above 65% on my last 55 plays. So things are looking up right now. I'm heating up, and we're going to do our best to keep it going here. So if you want to be involved, check me out at WagerTalk.
Take advantage of that deal right now here, guys. I mean, no better way. The guy's been absolutely crushing it. He does it each and every year. Hop on board for his NBA. Get his college basketball for just $1. That deal expires tonight, guys, so make sure you take advantage of it. Skee, enjoy the game, brother. Always a pleasure seeing you, man. Thanks for swinging by as we get ready to talk much more, especially some football in just a minute. I do want to send a shout out, however, to the guys in the chat room. Star Child's here. Titan CT is here. Big Daddy is here. Money Miggs in the house here as well. Rochester Gianni. The crew is here, in other words, on social media, and we appreciate you guys hanging out in the YouTube chat room. Shout out to Instagram as well as TikTok. Don't forget, that thumbs up would be much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Follow us over on Instagram and TikTok and get ready to talk some damn football with one of the best as we welcome back in TC, Teddy Covers in the house, ready to go, Teddy. And we got, I guess now is the time, right? We got a game here in Frisco, Texas coming up in college football, week 16 of the NFL. And I watched, of course, the opening line report yesterday. I'd encourage everybody else to do it as well. The link is in the description to get a leg up here. But let's start with that college football game here. Memphis taking on West Virginia. I guess interim coach Rich Rod back at West Virginia. Memphis, old quarterback, trying to go out with a bang. Who do you like in this one here, Teddy?
Well, we've seen a big line move on this, even just this morning. Woke up today and Memphis was sitting at 4/4.5. Now they're up to -6. The total this morning was sitting at 58.5. Now we're looking at 60.5. And I agree, certainly, with the total move in this game. I'm going to make a case for the over between West Virginia and Memphis tonight. From a side standpoint, look, there are a lot of concerns about the quote-unquote motivation for West Virginia. That's why the money's coming for Memphis. And certainly Memphis with a good bowl track record in recent seasons. West Virginia, on the other hand, Neil Brown, bye-bye, as you mentioned, and Rich Rod on the way. In the middle, interim head coach Chad Scott. This is his first time as a head coach. He's been with West Virginia since 2019. He coached the running backs. He's been the offensive coordinator the last couple of seasons. So from a who's coaching this game standpoint, there's a change for West Virginia. But the fact that both the OC and the defense coordinator, Jeff Kuntz, are both going to be here, it's not a situation where everyone's gone for West Virginia. They did have a couple of key opt-outs, most notably their star freshman linebacker, and that could be very much a concern. Trotter is the guy who's walking. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they're going to have Garrett Green in the lineup, and that is a huge deal. You talk about Seth Hennigan for Memphis as a multi-year starter, a guy who's been there forever. Well, Garrett Green's a similar story, a guy that's, I think, it's his 5th year with the Mountaineers. So 2 veteran QBs, 2 offenses that have been able to move the football. We're not talking about teams that can't score, that don't have big play potential. Both teams have big play potential, and obviously we're talking about explosive plays. That's good for overs. Neither defense is trustworthy. It really isn't. When you look at West Virginia, they've been, let's put it this way. They rank 125th nationally in pass defense. That's what you need to know about the Mountaineers defensively. And Memphis has had a lot of problems giving up big plays as well. So when we put it all together, we're not getting the best of the number anymore, unfortunately, 60.5 right now. But I think the best bet for tonight's bowl game is to take a look at the over. These early bowl games, you don't see the layoffs affecting the offenses as much as you will in the later bowl games. No argument with an over in the Frisco Bowl tonight.
You mentioned it, interim coach there, but been with the program there, Teddy, for West Virginia. Silverfield has been phenomenal with Memphis. He's had pretty good success in bowl games with Hennigan, who grew up just outside of Frisco, I think. So it's a homecoming here tonight. But with so much uncertainty with one team like West Virginia and Memphis trying to go out strong with senior quarterbacks and all of that, how do you navigate through bowl season, the opt-outs and everything else, Teddy? Are you finding you're looking more totals? Are you looking more sides? Does it not matter? How do you approach it?
The answer is slowly and carefully. That's how we do it right now. There was a time when the bowls came out and boom, I put up, half a dozen plays right off the get-go. That's not the way it works in 2024, okay? I have a 5% big ticket up for one of the playoff games, right? That's a game where I'm confident everyone's going to play for both teams. Everything else, you're looking at a day or two ahead of time is when I'm going to post and make my final decisions. I got a ton of leans, or I got a whole sheet, of leans, but I ain't going to play anything until, we talk about 48, 72 hours out maximum. And a lot of them I'm going to play. It's going to be like, okay, the day before, I'm confident this is how it's going to play out. That's when we'll release. So the bowl plays, there's not as much lead time in the modern era to get your bet down. That being said, I'm trying to make bets with accurate information. And when the information is accurate, that's when we're going to fire. So it's a little bit of tapping the brakes and a little bit of making sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. That's what we'll look to do for the clients again this bowl season. We hit 70% last December and hoping to do it again.
Big Daddy all over it with you in the chat room. Loves the over in that spot there, West Virginia and Memphis. And you heard Teddy tell you, the success he's had, of course, in bowl season in years past. He's got a 5% bet now. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you just got every one of his damn bowl plays for 149? It seems to make the most damn sense, Teddy. Take advantage of that, guys, while you can, over at his page at WagerTalk.com. That's a 149 every bowl game through the national championship. You can't go wrong for 149, which will include Teddy's 5% bowl game that is up, locked, loaded. And since he doesn't exactly run to the window to make bets early on in the bowl season, the fact he's got a 5%er, I think, tells you everything you need to know. Hop on board, grab and take advantage of that 149 deal with Teddy. As we transition to the NFL here, Teddy, couple of interesting games in this Week 16 coming up. We'll start with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and hell of a bounce back to go on the road out west and beat the living snot out of the Chargers. And Dallas, well, Dallas didn't take too kindly to being a dog to Carolina, apparently. So, but guess what? They're a dog again here, Teddy. What are we getting this time?
Yeah, we love it when they mention point spreads as a motivator, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys did. The quote from C.D. Lamb after they beat Carolina, quote, he was asked if the odds makers listed the Panthers in favor of the first the team. C.D. Lamb's quote, "It was brought up. You're not oblivious to being what was said about your team. Shout out to whoever thought the Panthers were going to win, but they got this one wrong." That being said, Dallas just beat Carolina, who is among the worst teams in the league. That's not what Tampa Bay is right now. And the quotes coming out of Dallas are positive. Micah Parsons, "We're not going to give up. As long as I'm part of this unit, we believe in each other. We're fighting for each other at this point. The record's a record, but it's a special feeling when you can fight for each other." Yeah, I get it. But when your defense forces four turnovers like they did last week, when Dowdle runs for a $149, you have a 211 to 60 rushing edge, you're going to win games. You're going to cover point spreads. That ain't happening against Tampa. Right now, the Bucs are playing elite level football, and they've been a significantly undervalued commodity. Now, I worry that we lost a lot of Tampa value with Tampa with their blowout win last week. They outgained the Chargers by 300 yards in that ball game. Todd Bowles. That's huge. It's December football. We're trying to stop the run. We're trying to run the football. Today, we did a good job. And that's the key for Tampa right now. Why has this team come alive over the course of the last month after they were sitting below 500? They're running the football. Bucky Irving, Rashad White combined for 30 for 181 against L.A., which is a really good defense. And that means you're converting on third downs when you're running the football. 9 of 15 on third downs in that ball game. This is a Bucs team that's kind of been overlooked. When we talk about contenders, and it's all Detroit and it's all Philadelphia and everyone's sucking the oxygen out of the room. My feel is that the Bucs are as undervalued a commodity as you're going to find in the league right now. If I'm playing, I'm laying.
What do you think, Teddy? I'm also seeing Tampa been very good on the road this year. Baker Mayfield and this offense, I got to give him credit, man. I wasn't a big Baker Mayfield guy. Switches OCs, right? Canales goes over to Carolina. I'm like, oh, well, there goes that run for Baker. But now he's got experience. They got playoff experience. Say what you want about Todd Bowles. Been there and done that. It's not exactly the hardest division, but Tampa, to me, is going to be are they still a bet-on team for you moving forward into the playoffs?
Yes. Plain and simple. Yes. I'm, every week on Bet on It, we have a buy or sell recommendation. We call it Just the Tip, a little stock watch. And I'm absolutely considering Tampa Bay as a team we want to be buying right now, even after this current winning streak. I think there is a lot of upside with the Bucks. They're a good team, and they're priced like a mediocre team, and I think we could take advantage.
I love it, Teddy, there. Bet on It, guys, will be out, of course, tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. We got another game, Teddy, we want to talk about, and it's, oh, boy, the Dolphins, huh? Oh, boy. I remember they were we thought they were buy on at one point this year, Teddy, I believe, on Bet on It. You liked them at one point, but something tells me we're not on the bandwagon anymore at this team.
Well, both the Dolphins and the 49ers, their season essentially ended with their defeats last week.
Yep.
There's a chance that Miami can get there if they win out and things play right. There's a chance San Francisco can get there if they win out and things break right. But the reality is that both of these teams are relying on other contending teams to lose if they're going to be in the postseason. And the fact that both of them lost intense must-win games last week doesn't necessarily bode well for this week. All that being said, look at the WagerTalk free live odds screen. I'm seeing San Fran won at some books, Miami won, pick 'em. Let's call it Miami -1, total of 46 in this ball game as the prevailing numbers right now. What are they going to get? How do they get 46 points in this ballgame? The 49ers are 1-4 straight up their last 5 games. The only win came against the Bears in a no-show game for Chicago. They scored 17 or less in all 4 losses. They're coming off a must-win divisional game in which they gained 3.3 yards per carry. They're flying across the country, all right, with an offense that really hasn't clicked at any point this season. Here's Miami, and I know Miami can chuck the football around, but what happened last week? Tua threw picks. He threw bad picks. He took sacks. They turned the ball over 4 times, and the offense gained 3.6 yards per play. So one team gained 3.3 yards per play last week. The other team gained 3.6. And I know that Miami's scoring was deflated last week. There were 2 picks at or near the Texans' goal line and the third on the final drive and all of that. But Jalen Waddle's hurt for Miami. He injured his knee. They were playing without both starting tackles last week. Don't know if either's going to play this time around. And after Tua had an interception-plagued ball game, one would anticipate his quote, "I got to protect the ball." Plain and simple, my fault. One would expect perhaps Miami to have a little bit more of a conservative game plan this week. So 46 is the total in this ball game. I think that's a good notch or two too high. I look at the 49ers and Dolphins to stay under the number.
Love that there, Teddy. Yes, Tua is a different quarterback when he's under duress. Shocker. And don't know that he's not going to be under duress in this game either. Love the under in that spot there. It is $5 customer appreciation, Teddy, not just today at Wager Talk, but also at sportsmemo.com. No doubt you have a play locked, loaded, ready to go. $5 over at your page at Wager Talk.
Absolutely do. We're talking some college hoops. The college hoops been really good. 29-12. I think it's 71% dating back to March. And we're locked and loaded tonight with a single best bet, top total winner. And it's a TV game. You can watch it on ESPN2. Just $5. Check out my page, wt.buzz/TC.
That is how you do it. Teddy, love it. We will see you a little bit later this week, of course. Much more, including his videos, guys, that are available right now. He breaks down all the big games coming up this week, NBA, college basketball. Check it out over at our YouTube channel, which is another good reason to hit the like button and the subscribe button. But if we've said it once, we've said it a million times. Shout out Mark A. in the house. FB Coach is here. Robert S. I do believe that Mike is in the house, as well as Daryl Turner. Mesa Forest here, too. Always a pleasure seeing you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We still got much to go here. We got any VR, Gianni the Greek coming up. He is going to give us all the latest steam that we need to know here across the board. Great college basketball slate here tonight as well. We'll get his thoughts on that. And of course, if he is seeing anything happen early in the week in the NFL, and of course, college football is here. But let's talk props, man. I can't think of anybody better than the one and only Andy Lang in the house. The prop god is ready to do it like you do each and every week here on Wager Talk Today. Talk to me, Andy. Let's start in this NBA Cup final tonight, where we've got, well, it's a couple of big names and different ways to approach this game tonight from a prop betting standpoint. What are you looking at? Mm. It really is. Yes. Yep.
Only shoots. He's shooting 47.8% from the field. So these role players are going to they're going to be playing their normal minutes. I don't think this is where these role players don't play, or they play limited minutes because the stars are, playing. I think these role guys are going to have a big role. So give me AJ Green. I also am leaning towards the Thunder team total over 109.5. They've gone over this in 6 straight games. The Bucks did pretty good against Atlanta and Orlando. They held those two teams under this total, but their defensive rating over the last 5 games is only 19th. And OKC, everyone talks about their defense. This is the 3rd best offensive rated team over the last 5 games. They are scoring a ton of points. I thought Skee did a nice job breaking down SGA and the success he should have. So those are a couple props I like. And we're going to build a same game parlay for this one. It's only minus 115, and it is a three-leg same game parlay. We're going to start with Chris Middleton to have 3+ assists. He's gone over this in every single game he's played this season. His minutes are up around 23. He's getting a lot of potential assists. He's not scoring a lot, Joe. He's kind of a little bit more of a facilitator right now. So we'll take him to have 3 assists. Giannis, 25+ points. He scored 28 or more in 10 straight games, and I'm just not sure that OKC is going to be able to slow him down. I mean, if I'm OKC, I'm saying, Giannis, you can get yours. We're going to not let, the Portises and the Lillards and the Lopezes beat us. So I'll take Giannis to have a big game, and then we'll play off that Thunder team total. We'll lower that to 103.5. I think that's pretty easy against this Bucks team. So that's going to be our same game parlay for the Championship Cup tonight.
Good stuff there, Andy. Now, Andy, before we get to the NHL, sorry, I have to do this, but Dan, are you there by some chance?
Oh,
Dan,
no.
Are you there?
What's going on?
Oh, no.
Did anything happen?
Oh, okay, good. So you figured out how to turn on your microphone, but you thought it not best to turn Andy's on. So once again, I'm getting screamed at in the chat room here.
I'm not very partial to
oh
AJ
my
Green.
God, Mark A.
I didn't want to hear what he was saying about AJ
pissed.
Green. I figured it was up on the screen. I figured who cares why he wants to bet AJ Green over 1.5 threes? He just wants to bet AJ Green over 1.5 threes. So Andy, why do you want to bet AJ Green over 1.5 threes?
Okay, AJ Green, gone over 9 straight games. His last 12 made field goals are 3-pointers. He doesn't shoot 2s. He's played 23 minutes a game. He's shooting 47.8% from the field. That's why we're betting AJ Green.
I couldn't have lived without that, Joe. I couldn't have lived without that. Thank you, Andy.
Listen,
I appreciate that.
I am just impressed that you actually figured out how to turn your microphone on there before you spoke. No. Sorry about that, Andy. Sorry, chat room.
That on button
Sorry,
is tricky.
that's
that on button will get you.
Back-to-back days. Right now, I want to know in the chat room what is the yes/no odds of Dan forgetting to do it again tomorrow? Just saying, throw it in there. Let me know. I'll be in on this action one more time. Hit
talk
the
about a
like
rigged
button
prop.
while you guys are there.
Yeah, people want to say the NFL is rigged.
No, yes, especially since I can make sure you don't hit that that button tomorrow. Andy, let's talk NHL here, man, because you got a couple of good props here tonight on the ice. Loaded slate here. Talk to us. I feel like there's if it ain't broke, don't fix it prop in here.
Yes, we've been talking about Yuri Kulik for a while now. Buffalo Sabres. He's only 20 years old, and he looks great. Over 1.5 shots on goal. I can't believe they haven't moved this to 2.5. Listen, it's minus 185. It's juicy. You know when minus 185 is a good price? When he's hit it 12 out of the last 13 games and he faces Montreal, who's 25th in shots on goal allowed, and they give up 21.7 shots to forwards and centers. Kulik he didn't get any power play time in the last game because they only had one power play. That should revert back. Expect him to get over this 1.5 shots on goal. And then Morgan Geekie, we're getting a great price. This is actually a client play. Over 1.5 shots on goal. Gone over in 15 out of 17 games, averaging 4 shot attempts per game, playing a great amount of minutes, 15 minutes average the last 17 games. Calgary, this is another great matchup. They give up 29.3 shots on goal a game, 21 of them to centers and forward. I love these shots on goal prop when they're 1.5, Joe. These have been big-time moneymakers for myself and for clients. So I would also bring up Pavel Buchnevich has a 0.9 straight games, but his under is minus 105. He plays the Devils, who are third best in scoring. They've only allowed 4 goals in the last 3 games, so I know everyone's going to be on that one. Just tread lightly on that one. Those are your props for tonight in NHL.
Andy, I love this. $5 Tuesday customer appreciation here, Andy, as well. I know you are locked and loaded, ready to go here. What are we looking at?
Well, it's $5 Tuesday. We got our college football best bet up 4% play. I love this one. We're 10-5 this season, looking to get to that 11th win. Really, really excited about that one. We have an NBA and NHL pack that is up as well. 1 NBA play, 1 NHL play. That NHL play is Morgan Geekie. So for you guys watching, that's our client play of that one. 4-1 run in NBA, 9-2 in NHL. And a lot of people are asking about the year special. It's up. It's good through. I believe it's Christmas Eve, December 20. Discount down to $1,199 for a year's worth of plays. Since January 1st, 2023, nobody has brought in more units. We are at 191 units. So you take advantage of long-term success by taking advantage of these deals. You have time to plan for it. You have up until Christmas Eve that locks in 1 year's worth of plays. We have been in the top 5, 2023 and 2024. And in the last 2 years, nobody has brought in more units. We preach long-term results. And we tell people invest in these long-term packages. It doesn't get any better than this on that discount. So if you are waiting and trying and wanting to try a long-term pack, now is the time to do it. WT.buzz/AL, or just go to the deals page on WagerTalk.com.
Outstanding stuff as always, Andy. We appreciate it. Take advantage, guys. Head over to his page at WagerTalk.com. All right, so far I'm seeing roughly, I know Instagram, we have ATH Pick says minus 150. Dan forgets to turn the damn volume on again tomorrow. Plus 125, he doesn't. I think you're being cheap. I would have put it closer to $2, but that's me. Let's see if he does it with Gianni as we welcome in the man, VR in the house, ready to go with his daily Steam report here. Gianni, so far so good. It looks like we can hear you. So Dan managed to figure that one out. But talk to me here, brother. What are we looking at here today?
I think I owe the viewers a couple winners because I don't think we did too well yesterday on those Steam plays. I know I had a nice day in the NFL. I hit my 4%, now 8-1 on those. But the college basketball did not do all too well. But overall, having a good short-term recent run. Last 3 days, last 7 days, number 1. So looking good heading forward. Today, it's been nothing but college basketball. I already fired about 10, 11 plays. Only gave out 3 or 4 to subscribers. Also got 3 more bowl games overnight. And NFL game for Thursday on Denver at wait, hold on. I don't want to give out the wrong side. So let me get back to that. But we got a lot of college basketball again, some already on the bowl games, and a lot coming on. Like you said, got a bowl game tonight. Real quickly, I'll tell you, it's all favored and over. Nothing but Memphis and the over. So for a guy like me, it makes it easy. And I think most bettors out there, it should make it easy for you. If you're not on Memphis and over already, then that ship's left. Like you can't jump on now. You could just look at the line. Just go to WagerTalk odds screen, click on any of the good books like Circa, Superbook, Bet Online. And what you're going to find is that just earlier today, I believe, you could have laid 4.5. You could have laid 5. You could have laid 5.5. So what would you wait and lay 6 for now? It doesn't make absolutely any sense. You'd be betting from a position of weakness and hoping for be the product of good luck. You don't make money doing that. And the same thing with the over. It opened at 56, 56.5. Just earlier today, I could have got over 56 this morning. If I woke up and instead of making my coffee, I went to the computer and bet, I could have got -4 and over 56. That's no longer there. So right now, there's only one bet to make. It's either West Virginia under or nothing at all. If you don't like West Virginia plus the points, just leave it alone. If you don't like the under, just leave it alone. I'm not saying those sides are going to cash. They probably not, because you're seeing the respect the opposites are getting. But the opposites are gone. Like that EV's gone. How off do you think the book's going to be? They're going to be 3 points off, 4 points off, 5 points off? No way. How do you think they turn a profit each and every month? They don't do it by being 3, 4, and 5 points off on the only primetime football game of the night. That's not going to happen. So again, as a bettor, you should be able to draw an easy conclusion when you see a game like this and you haven't bet it yet. That's the goal for me to come on every morning. To not just steer you on what to bet, but also keep you from placing bad bets. Because you do that over and over again, bad things happen. You place good bets over and over again, good things happen. We're here to place good bets, baby.
Now, let's stick with college football there, Gianni. You got a couple of games coming up tomorrow. Yep. Are you expecting more early steam tomorrow, like JMU, Western Kentucky, Cal, UNLV, or do you think what we see is what we're getting here?
No, I think tomorrow you're going to see these lines move because I think the public really hasn't gotten involved. So far, it's been nothing but the sharps. And I'll tell you right now, like I gave it out. We got 3 new college football bowl games overnight. Sorry, something's coming in. I'm forced to bet as I'm doing this. I'm just a live trader, man. Sure. I do this for real, so forgive me. But just so you know, UNLV for tomorrow is a legit move. Like they just keep betting UNLV like they already know the final score. So I don't know what's going on with Cal. Maybe they don't care too much about that game. But they just been betting UNLV. They bet them as a dog, brother, and now they're betting them even as a favorite. I think when you look up now, they're not going to be a pick 'em anymore. I mean, they were a pick 'em about 5 minutes ago. That's no longer going to be the case because they just continued to hit the UNLV side. They also took the points with Toledo. That's why it's down to a key number of 7. They also took the points with Navy against Oklahoma. That's why it's down to a key number of 7. What you have to do now is pay attention to what happens. Are they is another group going to come in and lay that 7? Because if they do, then if you like the dog, you're going to get a good number again. But usually what happens is once that line moves too significantly, Joe, it makes it kind of easy for a bettor. Like you only have one side now that's available to you unless you're willing to take the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th number. And you just can't keep doing that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There will be times that after the move, there's still EV left. But you got to be very selective in those spots because, again, when I look at Toledo, that line's already moved 2.5, 3 points. When I look at Oklahoma, it's moved 1.5, 2 points. Those are significant moves. So you got to be cautious. You got to be selective at bowl season. And like I said, the groups get a lot of respect because of just how good they do. Like you're going to see UNLV again. UNLV was a dog. They will go off as a favorite. It may even get to that key number of 3 because when they step up and fire, that's what you're going to see. Like that's a legit move for tomorrow. Win or lose, rest assured, that's as real as they come. And that's what the market should reflect, that kind of move. Forgive me. All right.
No,
it's busy.
And it's funny, because you mentioned Tulane, early in the week, it was all Florida money. But like we talk about each and every week, there comes a line in the sand that once that's crossed, here comes the buyback. And once we got to about 14 and a half, it looks like the buyback has begun here at that 2-touchdown mark in that game.
And you have to. I mean, listen, it's almost like a free bet. you got to do it, especially if you got down early. So the key, what I try to conclude is it the middle attempt, or is it just another group that actually says at 14 and a half, now it's side B becomes the right side? Because you got to remember, the spread becomes the great equalizer. So if I got team A and team B, team A's -1, now they're -2, now they're -3, 3.5, now 4. There's absolutely no way team A is still the right side. Doesn't mean team B is the right side, but right now you can't be betting team A. But if you start seeing that money come in on team B at +4.5 and it goes to 4, 3.5, then you know there is a difference of opinion, and that number should be somewhere in the middle. I mean, again, it doesn't mean you should be placing a bet. More times than not, when you see something like that, you should just step back and let it go and see how it turns out. But you will see a lot of that when lines move significantly. And anytime you feel like you're guessing, the best thing to do is pass. I said it yesterday and I'll say it again because I don't expect everybody to watch each and every day. But our biggest strength as bettors is the ability to pass. When a line moves, we don't have to bet it. We could sit back and be as selective as possible because we pay an admission. I got to lay 11 to win 10 every bet. I got to pay an extra $1 for every 10 I'm trying to make. Again, that's an admission. You're not going to pay that admission until you see a good bet. And once the line move, again, you can't bet the one side. Like, it only becomes a one-sided bet. It sucks to put it that way, Joe, but you got to be that disciplined, or else it just becomes like you're a fan trying to predict outcomes, and that it becomes such an impossibility, man. Because again, it's a two-piece system. We're fans of a sport, but it's also a market. It's a betting market, and the markets are very different. You got to treat it like that. And when a price moves too much, you don't want to be buying high and selling low. You don't want to be that guy. Right. It's like the guys running now to buy Bitcoin at 107, 108. What were you doing at 69 and 70?
It's so true. It's so true. It's like, listen, a little late to the party. Pick your spots. The good news is everything is cyclical, guys, but pick your spots and be smart about it, or just stay on the sideline until another game or situation pops up. Speaking of which, college basketball you mentioned here. You're getting a lot of that coming in here today. I'm wondering, and I think this is an important point, how much of the steam you see on a day-to-day basis in college basketball is the marquee games?
Not all that many. Usually it's on a marquee total, and what happens is they get out ahead early, knowing like a lot of times it's biased towards favorite and over. So if it's a marquee game and you know it's two high profile offenses, even if they don't like the under, they're going to the over. They're going to bet the over because they know that's going to be the bias of the bettors. So if I come out and I go over 150, I'm going to get respect because my account is already marked as a sharp account. So they're going to move it off that account. But then the public money is going to add even more pressure to the books. Now, all of a sudden, that line's going to move, whether they like it or not, because now not only do they know the sharps on it, but now they got the public risk as well. So that 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, it's now going so much higher. My initial bet might have been, again, to slam that under, but I have to bet that over early because I know which way the market's going to move. And anytime you can do that, you want to get out ahead because, again, you're betting from a position of strength. You could jump off it later and have an easy middle. That's the goal of these groups when they get out early, because you got to remember, a lot of times it's not a real position like you touched on. When it comes to marquee games, they're trying to take advantage of the bias of the bettors or late after the bettors move aside too significantly. Like when it's a marquee game, Joe, and 9 out of 10 bets are on team A and the line has to reflect that. That's when you'll see them come in and take advantage of an inefficient number. But usually they're betting games like Jacksonville State, Holy Cross, NC Asheville. Those are the kind of matchups that the line's going to be more inefficient because it's not getting the volume that a North Carolina Duke game's going to get. Like that one, you got to be a lot more careful with. But Jacksonville State, NC Asheville, who gives a shit? Like you're going to book 2 bets, you could move it. How much is it going to hurt you if you're off? The public's not coming in on it. Maybe 1 or 2 groups are going to hit you in it. You're giving nickel limit bets anyway. They're not going to beat you for a lot of money. Right now, college basketball, I can't get more than a nickel. Like find me an account that gives me a dime and go ahead, reach out to me, hit me up, DM me, do whatever you got to do. Let's work together. But it's just so hard. Nobody wants the college basketball action because, like I said, like a perfect example, not to go long, but we bet over 141 Florida International, East Carolina today. We bet under 148.5 UMKC against Wichita State. Dude, I don't think there's too many recreational bettors that are betting the total of Florida International for East Carolina. I don't think there's too many recreational bettors betting Wichita State, UMKC, like really digging into that total. And that's why, again, those are the games that we're looking to beat up the books on because they seem to be the most inefficient lines.
Yep, and every book will tell you, Gianni, there is no public money in college basketball yet. So it'll be there. It ain't there yet. So don't get confused as to why those lines are moving in these games. All right, you mentioned FIU. Is there anything else on the board today that might be moving?
Yes, sir. Thanks for asking. Let me give you some moves we already got down on. And here's my goal to share this each and every morning. I'd love for you guys to come to this. I'm going to be on about 12:30 Eastern each and every morning, and to already have your sheet. Have your sheet and already have your lean circled. Have your side circled, your total circled, the ones that jump off the page at you. Then when I come in and I read this stuff off, see, does it confirm with your opinion? Does it go against your opinion? If it confirms it, maybe if you still get a good number, bet it. Feel more confident. If it's against it, maybe take another look. But I don't want you to follow anything blindly because between now and tip-off, there's a lot going on how we make our money year in and year out. Here we go. 611 over 166, North Carolina, Florida. 617 over 141, Florida International, East Carolina. 627, Jacksonville State, plus 18, plus 17.5, plus 17. 645, UC San Diego, plus 9.5, plus 10, and plus 9.5. And go down to 648, Oregon State, minus 19.5, Oregon State, minus 20. Finally, extra board games, 306, 518, Holy Cross, plus 11. And 306, 516, NC Asheville, minus 2.5. I'll give you 2 premium plays I released because I already think I gave 4 or 5 plays. I am on Holy Cross plus the 11. I'm on Holy Cross plus the 11. And I'm also on UC San Diego plus the 10. Those are 2 premium plays already released to subscribers. I think about 3% play. I bet 0.25. Again, we bet sizes, everything. We'll talk about that as we go forward because that's pretty much more important than anything else. I love sharing free information and winning picks, but if you don't bet them correctly, it's not going to help you anyway. So slowly but surely, we'll talk about bet sizing as well. So you're able to do some damage. 2025 is here before you know it. We all start out 0 plus or minus. Let's make it a good year ahead, boys and girls. Let's do some damage.
Let's do it, Gianni. Appreciate it as always. We'll see you again tomorrow for more steam here on WagerTalk Today. Customer Appreciation Day here at WagerTalk, as well as sportsmemo.com. You can head over to WagerTalk and Sports Memo and get those best bets for just $5, including Gianni's page, Andy's page, Teddy's page, Skee's page. You're getting a hint here. Just $5 customer appreciation best bet. That is what we have here on Tuesdays. And Gianni, of course, is here each and every Monday through Friday with us, breaking it down for you guys, letting you know what all those daily steam moves are early on in the day. But he is right. A lot happens in college basketball. So whatever may happen now, it might change a little bit before tip-off here, especially until we can cross over into January of 2025. And I'm having a hard time even realizing that. But you guys, Titan CT, Big Daddy, Vince Vegas in the house. Mike is here. Bill Sandoval. Always a pleasure seeing you guys. Would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up for us. Maybe hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. College basketball tip-off show coming your way, 2 o'clock Eastern time here today. We will break down some of these big marquee matchups for you, plus have a few best bets on some of the lesser marquee games for you here. It's all about being profitable. Knowledge is power, guys. The more you have of it, the better decisions you can make. That's what we're trying to do here at Wager Talk. Dan, does your microphone still work? You still know how to hit the on button? Is that okay? So. Good. So we're good. So
we're good.
I think the final line, Dan, that we have is it's actually the money has come against you. Minus 165. Somebody will be muted tomorrow. One of the guests, which is going to be a problem. Or you can get plus 135. What are you betting?
Yeah, it's sharp money doesn't always win, Joe. The squares win every now and then. Yeah. I think tomorrow could be a good day for that plus money. That's just what I'm saying. Let the sharp money drive it down. There's going to be value. No one will be muted tomorrow. That's the best bet. That's the best bet.
You guys heard it here first. All right, get your bets down there. Dan, will he or won't he forget to hit the actual volume on button for one of the guests here tomorrow? We'll have to come back and find out. In the meantime, come back and join us. College basketball tip-off show. If not, we'll see you again tomorrow here on WagerTalk TV. Good luck with those plays today, guys. We'll see you again soon.